You make sure the door. Did you lock the door?
Nope, not yet.
So
Pray this works.
The prince asked, once upon a time, a prince asked a beautiful princess, will you marry me? The princess said no. And the prince lived happily ever after. And he rode motorcycles and fucked skinny, big-titted broads and hunted and fished whenever the fuck he wanted, and went to naked bars and dated women half his age and drank whiskey, beer, and Captain Morgan, and snorted cocaine off strippers' asses, and never heard bitching, and never paid child support or alimony, and ate pussies and ass-fucked cheerleaders, and kept his house and guns, and never got cheated on while he was at work, and all his friends and family thought he was fucking cool as hell, and he had tons of money in the bank, and he let the toilet seat up. The end.
And that's the Bachelor Pad. Welcome to the Bachelor Pad, everybody.
what's going on, guys?
What's happening?
Bachelor Pad Radio, Bachelor Pad Pot. What do you say? What's the? I need to memorize this so you can go mess around.
Facebook Live, Bachelor Pad Radio, Jake Podcast, YouTube.
JakePodcast.com.
That's right. .com.
Are we missing anything else?
Don't think so, but you're gonna open the show because I'm gonna go lock the door.
All right. Well, from what you guys just heard, that was a very beautiful fairy tale story of a very happy man who lives a very happy life. So what's going on, guys? I've been sick the past 2 days. Haven't been able to make it in. But I guess the show still goes on without your boy. So here we are. Here's Jake running around locking the doors so crazy ex-girlfriends don't walk in at the beginning of podcasts. Well, the funny thing is she's not a crazy ex, but that was a crazy ex thing to do. It wasn't an ill intention. She just saw the car and saw me in here and was like, "Oh, you must be hanging out at the vape shop," not really noticing that it was closed and that we were doing a podcast. But it was a very crazy ex feeling.
I love that I just saw me run through on the crazy delay. I just went streaking through. It seemed more dramatic when I was doing it, but that's still pretty awesome. That's cool. That took me a lot longer to go lock the door and back and grab my soda and everything. I thought I would be quicker.
Yeah, you were making fun of me for wrestling the other night, telling me that I was out of breath, but here you are.
I can't breathe through my nose.
Well, you're gonna have to learn. You better start running more. Drink some Tabasco sauce while you're going for a jog. Everything will work itself out.
Yeah. Well, that would. You know what? I forgot my nasal spray stuff also. So I'm really playing behind the eight ball on my get yourself together. It could be because I have Animal Farm and craziness and everything going on at the house. So nothing went as planned today.
Hey, we got Matt in the chat.
Oh, look at Mr. Fancy sitting at home with his Superman onesie on or his Walled Lake onesie.
What does he drink? What does Matt drink?
Not much. Matt's not much of a drinker.
But I mean, if you were to go out to a event, what would his drink of choice be?
Dude, I think the last time I saw Matt had to have been 2008 or 2009. 2009 maybe. Out in a public setting.
Oh, okay. I was like, you just saw him yesterday.
No. In a public setting, it's been quite some time since the Maddie and I, got out and did the runs. And I don't really remember. I mean, when we were younger, I think it was a whole lot of anything. I'm sure he had a drink. I'm sure he'll chime in with his,
He said, shh.
Wow.
I feel like Matt's the kind of he kind of looks slightly intimidating. But I feel like he'd be the dude to have that white girl wasted fruity drink at a party.
Yeah. No, dude, he's not hardcore drinking, I guarantee you.
Captain and Coke's not bad. That's what he just said.
See, he doesn't have a favorite. See, that's what and it was always good because he always kept it together. He made sure everybody got where they were supposed to go. Nobody was driving,
Yeah, that's noble. That's a good man right there.
No, I always dug having him around in that, in those instances. So yeah, that's okay. So before, as we were starting, and you were going, balls, job and this and whatever. All right, let's play.
Yeah.
Let's get to know Nick a little more.
All right,
let's
go.
What is your government name? No, how?
You want my soch?
No. I love the government name. Like
My
sometimes somebody be like, "Hey, Jacob" or whatever. I'm like, "Don't use my government name."
My government name is Nicholas. I
Yeah.
mean, I can go by both. It's just easier for people to say Nick than it is Nicholas. It's, Jake. It's such a quick, easy thing to say. It's like your brand. Everyone has a self-brand. I just kind of leaned on the Nick side my whole life instead of Nicholas. But I like them both. I like the name Nicholas. Do you like Jacob?
It's weird because when I got into business, all my business cards, they'd always ask me, what's your name? Or they just go off of my full, God-given government name, right?
Yeah.
So Jacob. And I remember having like a ton of hangups when I was in, I'm sure elementary even, or maybe it was that like sixth through 8th grade. That was when I really, when I really looked at it like, I want to be cool. I want to be Jake. Like, I guess I was trying to rebrand myself Jake instead of Jacob. Like,
Jake and Jacob are kind of like one of those things. Usually the full name sounds like the more mature name, like Will and William. But in your case, I feel like Jacob sounds younger than Jake, and I don't know why.
yeah, and it's all, see, my young branding of myself was, I'm going to be tough and whatever, and I kind of had to be. I started farting.
started farting at a very young age.
Started farting at a very young age. I was a bit gassy. I started like, fighting because red hair, freckles, and the jokes and whatever. I think in like 3rd grade, I beat up an older kid because he was picking on me, and not like because I knew what I was doing. I think it was just like inner ginger rage, like, no, I've had enough.
Yeah,
No means no. So
you had to use that one a lot in your life.
yes, I have. Generally in post or past tense, but yeah. So I wanted to be cool, like and Lord knows if anyone in here that chimes in or chimes through. Believe me, I don't think I was really good at it. I did the best I possibly could for a redheaded kid. Watched all the Revenge of the Nerds movies. Built like I like to believe. I can't really tell you if I really like football that much, or I saw football players had a really cool life and they always had girlfriends, right?
Yeah.
And leather jackets, and they always seem to have, like, you didn't see like any movie of a pouty
Right, yeah.
letterman because I can't get a girlfriend or whatever.
Like
so
the football player that's getting bullied or something.
right,
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen. You
Yeah.
got a bunch of big friends with you,
Yeah.
So I can't.
You did. Yeah, you made a pretty good life for yourself for a redhead.
Yeah. No, and it's good. And I've always dated outside my league. I've dated girls where people are like, dude, how did you pull that off? And I'm like, I know, right? But, part of the thing with, being in physical sports and contact sports and, lifting weights and doing all those things helped.
Yeah,
and
you get like a good character development, and you get the charisma and confidence behind that stuff too. I mean, you put a 16-year-old kid in the gym for like a year, and he's gonna feel like God compared to all the rest of the nerds walking around with their textbooks.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
And it was an odd thing. But okay, so enough about me. This was supposed to be get to know Nick. How dare you?
You know how you get. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, and green. You know what? I wore a shirt that was green in 7th grade.
So let me tell you about why my mom got. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Yeah, and Mad Dog happened to, you wouldn't believe what she had to do to get that green shirt.
It was white when she got it.
Okay, so how old are you? According to the
think
the Mayan calendar.
This is actually very interesting because I think I'm gonna blow your mind because I'm guaranteeing you think I'm older than I am.
No, I think you're an old soul, but I don't know. I think if you'd like me to play Cedar Point, Cedar Point, what you call it?
Would you card me for alcohol?
Oh, for sure.
You would?
Oh yeah.
Would you card me for cigarettes?
Cigarette. I mean, you would. It's anyone under 30. I carded you the first time you came in here.
Maybe you did.
I know I did. I'm a Nazi when it comes to it. But I'm gonna go ahead and say randomly. I'm gonna go. You're swinging between a 23 and 24. You haven't turned 25 yet, but it's like 23 and a quarter or 23 and 3/4.
Yeah, I carry myself a little bit older than I am. I'm 21.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, I've been waiting for this conversation to happen, and I like specifically have told myself I'm gonna wait for it to happen on the podcast because I know it's gonna like blow his mind a little bit. And like I've been waiting for this exact question. So yeah, 21.
Wow, good
Yeah.
job to you.
Thanks, man.
You're doing better than most of the 21s I run into.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, no, you got a big melon. Big ups to, to Mama Nick,
Yeah.
right? They did something. Most people in this generation aren't raising the kids 100% well, but you seem to be a little more well read.
I had really good parents, man. I had parents that, even when I was doing terrible in school, understood that it wasn't because I was stupid or bad. It was because I had, a brain that wasn't quite made for that specifics. They recognized like my intelligence level, outside of the confines of the education system, because I didn't do really well in school. I mean, I graduated and I excelled in stuff I was interested in. I went to like the vocational digital media. We had Glenn, like right across the street. There's like the Votech Center where
and you're a product of John Glenn also?
Yeah. So there was I'm the same age as Dave White. We had middle school classes together and high school classes, and yeah. But I never, I had really good parents. They always recognized the drive in me for certain things, and they knew, not to. They didn't mess me up because of like the choices that I made, and they always supported me. And they always,
Why does this sound like a valedictorian like speech or whatever?
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so when I was in high school, I like at Glenn was such a chaotic environment that I think I had probably like maybe a 2.0 GPA.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the Votech Center doing digital media, which is photography and video and some audio, because I've always been into audio, and the teacher let me do it. And over there, it was straight A's, but back at Glenn, it would be like, D's and maybe C's. So eventually, I decided to like drop out of high school, like just senior year, because I was gonna have to go to summer school.
Just to call it a wrap, huh?
Yeah, and it was like my parents were like losing their mind. My mom cried. After like a couple weeks, I was like, okay, well, all right, maybe I won't drop out, but I don't want to go back to Glenn. So I enrolled in like an online high school, and I did not many people know this, but I did my last like little bit of high school education online at home, and I graduated with like a 3.9 GPA. So it was really weird. It was like learning myself and learning that I didn't do well in the educational system. And yeah, I didn't go to college. I have interests, and they supported, the career paths and things that I wanted to do in life. And, I'm 21. I still haven't gotten around to a lot of stuff that I want to, realize, and businesses I want to start, or music or screenplays that I want to do. But I think that, I got a good mindset ahead. I know that I beat myself up a lot for not, being where I want to be. But that's that's everyone, and that's especially for my age, like this group, like the young 20s. It's such a like hard time, because you're like, wow, okay, I'm not fresh out of high school anymore. It's been a few years. I'm not superstar right now. When am I gonna get around to doing that? And I think that like a lot of people my age kind of have that anxiety and struggle, where they're like, they kind of feel like if I don't, establish myself now, that I'm gonna be a loser for the rest of the life. But I mean, you didn't get the right mind on your
Dude,
body.
it took me much longer.
Till you were like what, 25?
No, like 28, 29. It was the whole get married and do whatever. Hey, would you do me a favor? We're gonna hit mental pause.
Yeah.
Let the dog nanny get my key from Crazy.
Oh, is she here?
Yep, she's like trolling
Okay.
outside or whatever, and that sucked. We were on a good roll. I'll try and keep our mental bookmark of where we were at. Give me my key. Crack face. The dang dog nanny with her. I got stuck at a gas station talking to someone, but awesome. Oh, she thinks she is.
She said she is. I told her she's too broke to afford
With the dog that you just had?
No.
Oh.
No. We're kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah, come
So-
on now.
So give me the key.
Drop the key and get out.
Wow.
Or mic up.
That's as far as she stretched. Like she was like, "That's it, sir."
Here, you do the rest.
But yeah. So, and there is nothing wrong. But when you posed the question about like, hey, when I don't know, maybe I'll get rid of this job and that job, and the overall job shuffle, that's a thing, right? And
Yeah.
that generally puts you in the age.
Yeah.
You're generally not looking, like, jobs really don't matter, but obviously, leasing the house, doing whatever. So that's why I figured like the 23 to 24
Yeah.
range. And then I guess because of course, the Jakey wants to come through with some kind of random advice, but at that point it's what is it exactly you want to do? Right? Because if
Yeah.
you're just jumping around to mediocre random jobs or whatever, and
Yeah, those are just a means to an end, I don't have those. I don't, take jobs as, jobs as bill-paying jobs as any sort of getting into a career or establishing or moving up even. It's pretty much just, okay, where can I get the best, like, dollar per hour right now while I establish myself in other things just so I can pay the bills. And
which is good rational thought.
Yeah.
The bad part is not many people are completely forthcoming, like especially, with my beverage companies in Texas. Anytime you hire, I think there's a fairy tale where you want to
or are you talking about like when you get hired into a place and you pretty much tell the employer that you're looking to establish a career here?
Right. Well, I mean, you have to think, okay, if you do this and you're very good at it, you can make a good, comfortable living. You just don't know what the aspirations of that person, like, oh, I'm also a recording artist, and I'm,
Yeah.
I'm doing this and that, and I've been writing screenplays in my basement, and you got Quentin Tarantino delivering beverages out the back of a truck.
Yeah, I mean, because as far as like working like a entry level, no degree required job, there's very few people out there that get real fulfillment out of doing those jobs that they didn't necessarily pick, they kind of settled for. So I think it's kind of it's just like it's like a state of mind of it's almost complacency, because if you really 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 worked your ass off and tried, you could do what you love and support yourself doing it. But I think there's like an endless loop of shuffling, of waiting for that perfect moment, or waiting for this or that to happen, or buying this equipment, or writing this script, or writing this song, setting up this studio setup, that people just kind of end up pushing their goals away, and then they just keep going through this endless loop of job.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of transitionals, for that. So yeah, that's kind of weird.
Some people die that way, they just do that their whole life, and then they end up settling and giving up on their dreams, and that's sad.
It is, but there's no guarantee that those dreams are going to come
yeah,
through.
there's no guarantee that they were even good at doing those things
Exactly.
in general.
And it's good to always, to stand pat and, and stay the course of it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you do have to put a roof over your head. You do have to buy groceries. You do have to do things. So
yeah, we don't live in a utopian society where robots do all the jobs and we can just walk around naked and paint pictures all day.
This is a good trick. That's what I do before I come in here. I'm
Yeah,
naked pictures. I've got the what is that thing called? Not the easel, but the wooden thing where you kind of put your thumb through and you got all the paint splotches on it.
I know what you're talking about.
The paint pizza.
The paint thing.
Yeah, the paint thingy. Well, and if that's the case, it's it's different, because you always want to play for the dream long game, but also it's almost like multitasking. Like if you had an opportunity to work at Ford Motor Company, and you go, dude, I don't want to do and be a robot and whatever. But there's that secondary part of life. Like, how many musicians, and actually some that have that have pressed records and done things and, we had some tours and whatever, and they're working regular jobs,
Yeah.
right? And I mean,
Yeah.
it happens. I've met guys who were comedians, and I've met guys who, were obviously music and recording artists, and they've had all these things, and they came so close, but they didn't. And at that point, you still have to. Now, for me, I don't know if I'd actually be able to leave the industry as a whole. Like I would be an engineer, helping other people make music or doing something,
Right.
as long as you could find a way to make money off of it, right?
Yeah, but there's some part of them that kind of gets their spirits and dreams crushed when the limelight is no longer shining on them, and they feel like they have done all they could do.
Why do you think we're doing pseudo radio in my tree fort right now? Dude, I gave up my job at Ford Motor Company to follow my dreams, right? It was a weird pinnacle, and everyone was like, "You're crazy." And I went, "Look, we're only going to be on this giant ball of rock hurling through infinite space
Of course.
for so long. So am I not going to, they wanted me to be back and be full time. I was in Ford Motor Company. I kind of helped, I kind of did the things I had to do family-wise. My little brother was going through transitions. I did that stuff. And then I'm like, okay, I got him straight. So I can't give him all this advice and not follow my dreams.
Yeah.
Now, who gives up a $75,000, $85,000 a year job without really working that hard to go follow your dreams, right? It was a huge leap of faith,
Yeah.
and I was like, look, man, I'm either going to do it, and, sometimes you don't know the market parameters. Obviously, we didn't have a whole lot of, magic intel and research at the time.
Right.
Or even if we did, I wasn't sourcing it properly to look at the swings in terrestrial radio and going to satellite and,
Yeah.
some other things. Or I would have probably played it a little – I probably would have still done the same.
Yeah.
But I would have made some other decisions, along with it. Because I was ready to start traveling the world and going to – because I started in a top 10 radio market, which is unheard of. People are like, dude, who does that? Like,
Yeah.
how did you weasel your way into that?
Yeah.
And I guess,
that's a pretty well-known station you were on.
yeah. And, it was top 10. I think we were 8 when I was on it, and I think it was 10, 10 a couple years later.
Mm-hmm.
But, Dallas was about the same, like an 8 or 10. Dallas and Detroit, their media markets were pretty similar. So the only other way was to take a radio job in Wyoming. And not even like, talk or hot talk or, any of the, where you're actually attempting to entertain people.
But like
it was
DJ press play.
no, it would. Hey, everybody! This is Toledo's 106.5, the Rocket. Hey, we've got some cool things going on today. We've got Jim who's coming in from Baskin Robbins doing X, Y, and Z, and we've got two more straight hours of hits from the Beatles, Aerosmith, and so-and-so.
Yeah.
Boom, and then go. And then you would sit forever. And you had to make the most of like the 4 minutes. Like you would do some live reads. You'd do a couple other things. And I was like, dude, we were literally on air. Because I did this in Toledo afterwards. And I went, oh, no. Not after talking for 2 hours, 4 hours, or, whatever the...
Now you had to shut up and just not talk.
And then just come back on and be like, hey, we've got Nick in the studio with us today. Hey, Nick, what's going on? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Hey, we've got Barney Charlie's down at, 32nd Street and Wyoming. We've got this and that going on and whatever. It's crazy. And we have Halloween coming up and whatever. And then you'd play a commercial. Then you'd come back and then you'd have another 30 minutes or 30 seconds of talk. It was horrible. It was that wasn't what I got into, into radio for.
That's not, yeah. I mean, but part of it too is if you can get yourself in the environment, that's a good start. So even if, I mean, so you went to the shittier version of that after you got the job that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got pegged down a little bit, but you were still in the environment. So what happened next? Did you get burned out of that?
Yeah, it was not fun. Like, and it doesn't help when you have like a 52-minute drive back home because I was still living here.
Yeah.
Driving all the way there to do stuff and then come back. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? I've got a 52-minute drive there, a 52-minute drive back to do nothing, to say.
Yeah, and you feel like you're selling a little bit of your soul out because you're not doing what you want to do.
No.
You feel, it's like when a musician gets pushed by like a record company to write a song they don't want to write, or they make them do stuff, and it's not why they did it.
And the funny part was I didn't have a business mindset at that time,
Right.
right? This is before going into any form of business.
How old were you when you got started in radio?
Like maybe 30-ish, 31.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was weird because I'd gotten to a point where I went, look, I said I was going to do a ton of things in my life. There's a ton of things that I said I was going to do, and I noticed that I was not doing them, or I hadn't done them.
Right.
And I went through the whole getting married derailed me, because I almost started an apparel line with one of my buddies. I had that whole thing, and no, we need to buy a house, and we need to do this, and the power of the vagine is very strong.
Very.
Boobies, like I can't talk adequately. I mean, I can now. I've developed the ability. I can have intellectual conversations. I can have great, I can come up with great ideas, formulate a business and marketing plan.
You got a vaginal callus now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Those hands are calloused, most definitely. But at that time, I didn't really know and think. So
Yeah.
and it's different, because if not, I would have stayed in it, or I would have gone into sales. I would have gone into sales at that point in radio, right? Because then I would have been close enough, and I still would have been in the mix, and heaven forbid this happened or that happened, I could have thrown my hat in the ring, but I definitely wasn't going to do it in Toledo, and everything was changing up here, and all the money dried up also. So
Right. Yeah.
makes it a having a little bit of fame and a little bit of notoriety, it's cool, but it helps when you're turning a buck doing it.
Yeah, I mean the fame too. You're also in a completely different state while you're doing that. So did that really translate into anything up here for you?
No, but I mean here it was great.
Yeah.
But once I was down there, I mean when I ran into people like, hey man, what's happening with the station? It's crazy, but I'm doing stuff in Toledo, which
Yeah.
nobody cares about Toledo. Just
Yeah,
FYI,
no, just-
ain't nothing happening in Toledo.
Yeah. No.
Toledo's like being down south, but not. It's like a really cold down south. There's people
It's
people
just
were
where
on
you
26-inch rims in like 2009. Like it looked like a Nelly video, and I was like, what? What is happening? I don't understand.
It's just like a state that you drive through pretty much. That's what Ohio is to Michigan. So you just drive through it.
Yeah, the Drew Carey show was dead on. Like
Yeah.
it was spot on. So I don't know what advice. I mean,
For me in life, I just want to be a content creator. I want to make movies and I want to make music, and that's pretty much
did
it.
you put pen to paper on our Al Bundy parody of
why I left your mother?
Yeah.
No, I haven't started that yet. I've been pretty busy, but we still got that.
Dude, we need to have many beers. We need to have many beers and come up with a
Yeah, you should come over this weekend.
Yeah.
Check out the house, and we'll have some
Who's that?
beers.
Go ask. Oh, go ask. I'm sure they say they know me. They can come in. Well, then I guess everyone's allowed in. So yeah, it's kind of random how that transpired.
Yeah.
But I would always say play for the what up, Billy Pierce. Look at that, Billy Pierce pops up in the message side and then magically appears right here on the program.
Wow, what's up, man? You
What's
in the
going-
flesh, not in the comments.
No, here I am.
There he is, and he's a ginger.
Wow.
Fellow gingers unite. We get like one more. We can create like a witches covenant in this joint.
I didn't know gingers grew up into adults. I thought they just stayed angsty teens.
Nope,
No, just in mentality.
that's right. Most definitely. You know what? You wanna pull up in there, or you can pop a squat on the couch if you feel like chiming in. You're more than welcome. There we go. We'll pot Billy Pierce up in the house, and this is how we do. You can't do this on some big newfangled radio station.
Nah,
where you just
just-
wander in, knock on the door.
Just come on in. Door's always open after you knock.
I've been here earlier, but I went to your other store.
Oh yeah, yeah. Didn't I give you the 125 North Haggerty Road or whatever? Or no? Oh okay.
You said it was on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I got multiple stores. All right, go ahead and put the mic close towards you. There you go.
Kinda gotta
And-
talk like this. If you do this, almost kissing it. Just
Yeah.
kiss it with your
Yep,
mustache.
that is correct. Yeah, these things. I don't know if you saw the live remote show that we did.
Yeah, I
the one
saw
we
it.
did at the US 12.
Mhm.
This thing, if you get this far away from it, all of a sudden your voice. starts
Even if you
moving.
get this far away from it,
yeah,
you have to
everything changes.
this is like full fruition right here. But here, it's like you can still barely hear.
Yeah, it does. it is neat, you know. So we know we can do remotes in extremely loud, crazy places.
But we have to have like training sessions with anyone new on the mic that necs to figure it out. They
Yeah.
gotta go through you gotta get a certificate.
The first time their voice comes
Notarized.
through, yeah. Speaking of that, I'm just gonna go ahead and bump the mics up on the guy. That's it. Because it is seriously. I mean, I guess I could take the work and actually turn the knobs.
It's like
balls.
getting your chauffeur's license. It's not hard,
It's
but
not like the controls are right at your fingertips or anything.
No, not at all. But dude, I get very accustomed to once I got them set. Like I almost put something like a box over this so nobody would touch it because I know every mic they don't move. When we went and did the remote, I put mic 1, mic 2, mic 3. Dude, why are you doing that? Because I know exactly this mic, how it plays, what it does. That's fine. I know which, and this is my baby.
that's
And
how the bassist Red Hot Chili Peppers Flea. He like duct tapes all of his like volume settings, all of like the stuff on his bass guitar, so that nothing ever changes. He always gets the same tone out of it.
yeah.
You gotta do that with that.
My sister chimes in, frickin' gingers. God damn it! I'm telling you, it was a rough road, man. Being a ginger growing up,
Yeah,
man.
it's not easy being a ginger growing up, that's for sure.
It's not. That's why the football and the lifting weights and, you know, getting into boxing and all this, it was like, I'll show you yahoos. And I watched all the Revenge of the Nerds movies, and even though the, you know, gingers weren't well represented in that, I think that, I looked at it and went, okay, I catch a lot of flack. I'm not smart like these guys. At least these guys have a future ahead of them. All I've got is, hopefully I can tackle people.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
yeah,
then
I
when
don't.
it comes to fruition later on in life, you realize that no matter how good you can tackle people, if you aren't 6'4" and weigh 300 pounds, you ain't making it.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, that is the deal. I was the undersized. I thought I could make it. There were the Zach Thomases of the world, and there were a couple,
But those
middle
guys are
linebackers.
outstanding athletes. Though,
Yeah, which I was not. I was just better than everyone I played against. And then you find out there's a zillion schools and a zillion, and a bunch of states and a bunch of counties and a bunch of balls.
Yeah, if you look at like actual professional sports, there's really not that many people playing, and you think of how many schools exist, like infinity schools.
Yep. Yep. My dad really must have been enjoying the rum and coke and didn't. I mean, I know they told me, and all it did was spur me on. Somebody just could have been, you're not smart, right? And if you'd have just jacked with me about that, maybe I would have learned and tried to show everybody I could be smart, right? And if I'd have worked really hard at it,
Yeah.
even if I didn't become Einstein or whatever, I'd still be smarter than the majority of the people I run into. Via nobody having that conversation with me, just, you're too small to play football. And I was like, I'll show you. I'll grow wide. Right? Like, I will just keep picking up stuff until I just take up 2 spots. Somebody's got to have a need for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I had that God-given talent, either speed or just something that puts you over the top of the other people when you're in a smaller caliber. It's just, and I never had it. I just, people said, oh, you could probably go play at a Division III school or something, but I've always been small. I'm 5'10". I'm not fast. So I just
Then
knew.
you just pile on ginger on top.
Yeah.
No pun intended. A cherry on top.
Yep.
What notable have you guys done? Like
Growing orange hair my whole life until I got, past almost 30 years old. Finally, it changed a little.
Yeah, I'm going through. My hair changes like every week, man. I got like a mood ring. I get angry.
Yeah,
It turns
yours
into
is
the
just, yours
Heatmeister.
is just faded into like a different color.
Yeah, there's not even a name for this color.
It's not gray and it's not red. It's not
and it's not brown. It's not auburn anymore.
Yeah, it's not like blonde. It's I can't even.
I can put different hair. See, I'm not like I haven't been wearing gel. If I put gel in it, there was a picture of my buddy Tony Elliott, Big Tony. And there was a picture, and people were like, "Dude, you had like brown, blackish hair." And I was like, "No." Number one, that was probably
it was just
a shitty, camera phone. And number two, I was probably wearing some like super heavy, like you chuck shit at my hair and it will break.
Oh yeah,
like gel.
I mean, even like if you like go for like a jog and get your hair all sweaty, it'll get darker than it is.
Oh, for sure. Then
And
you put the gel in, it gets darker. I get accused of, are you coloring your hair? Are you doing whatever? It was, wasn't it lighter? Or when it's lighter, and I'm like, no, I just don't have any gel in it. I'm like, you're obviously
doesn't look wet.
Yeah,
Broadcast interrupted.
yeah.
Do something.
It said OBS. There you go. It's back. It said OBS. OBS has been doing that randomly.
Oh, tip. If you put it down more towards your mouth, if you like have it up here, it kind of picks up a lot of your nose.
Am I breathing into the microphone too hard?
If it's up here, It picks up like your nose breathing.
Yeah,
Matt is like the worst at that.
Yeah, Matt's definitely known for a little breathiness. But okay, so
Are we back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. Because
Yeah,
it said
yeah.
connection interrupted. I didn't know what that was all about.
nope, it's really weird. OBS has been getting janky. I might need to re-upload
Is it the internet or Facebook or is it OBS?
OBS. It keeps saying OBS when it does.
Oh.
All right, so
OBS.
that's right, OBS.
Yeah.
Dude, we have the longest intro in life. Like just our small talk and hey, what happened yesterday and whatever seems to last like 30, 34 minutes because every time I'm like 40 stuff gets funny.
Dude, our intros are like the whole thing.
That's right. It does. It is a long extended
It's
intro.
yeah, it's like The View, but for dudes.
Okay. Yeah. No kidding. Oh, there was some good stuff on there that I wanted to talk. Not The View, but The Real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the little Asian lady on there. She's a nice lady. The Hispanic lady's not bad. And then you never watched The Real?
No.
I don't really watch it. It just happens to be on.
What
like,
is The Real?
I don't know. It's a bunch of chicks sitting around doing what we're doing, except they're really hot and they get paid a ton of money to do it.
Oh.
Living the dream.
Do
I'd
what?
like to-
What'd you say? Yeah, they gossip. And we don't really gossip, but
No.
they went into a few things relationshipy. Try and remember, just holler out The Real later. But I was watching today on the news, troopers who suspect someone of driving under the influence of drugs may require a mouth swab in the near to recent in the near future.
Yeah.
Drivers who refuse will face a civil infraction. Now, the first thing when I began, and it's 5 counties that are going to be rolling this out.
Are they anywhere near us?
Washtenaw is the closest to us.
Oh, okay. Well,
Which-
just don't go to Ann Arbor.
Right. Well, you know how many youngsters I talked to today that I know probably get down and
the funny thing is like Washtenaw County is like Ann Arbor and Ypsi. That's like the weed spot around here. That's where all the stoners go. That's where Hash Bash is.
the stoners, the dispensaries, and look, I don't fault anyone, but I do have a thing with with marijuana in general. If you're going to do it, and I think because right now everyone has that feeling of, hey, it's legal-ish and it's cool. I've got a card,
Yeah.
but they're doing it like outside, and I'll be driving through my neighborhood and two people be talking by a car, and I see them passing something. I can smell it when I'm driving by. Now,
Yeah.
look, I don't have kids. I don't want to have the kids. I really don't care about the kids, but I have met a couple little nice kids in my neighborhood because they happen to like my dogs. And when I wander around, Scoob and Shadow, and the kids come out. So then in turn, now I feel like neighborhood watch guy, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because I got a short haircut and I've got a military police dog. So I'm about 3/4 of the way there, right?
Yeah,
All I need is
But now, in turn, though, do you drink beer on your front porch? No?
No, I'm a lot less hillbilly than I used to be.
But
No, my
I do.
backyard.
I
I
drink
do everything
beer
in
on
my
front
backyard.
porch.
yeah, see, I mean, like, it's one of those things that, we're all prone to believe that it's a bad thing, and to do it in public, it's a bad thing.
Well, it's
but
against the law to do it in public.
it is to
Any way you look at it, unless you're in New Orleans.
I think the only difference, and this is the only one, and I don't think it's even slightly an issue because it's out in public where the air just moves, is contact highs. I wouldn't want like a group of kids being in a room that's just being hotboxed,
No, I can understand that, and I wouldn't, in an enclosed area in front of kids. I'm not saying that it's okay to do it in front of kids.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
Hey, I was raised on it. Do you think Mad Dog? My house smelled like Christmas trees my whole life. Really
You got
liked Christmas for a few years.
Good old pine needles in your house.
That's right. Well, okay, so here's one of the situations, and I've got a whole thing. That the minute I saw this, I went, "Wow!" I hope people are smart enough to take an Uber. Right? If you're going to do, like, if I was a low-level drug dealer right now and I had to go to my plug's house or whatever, I would Uber there a couple doors down, right? Or just in the area. I would walk up.
Sure.
I would do whatever. I would take a couple bounce, like,
Sure.
Fabric softener sheets.
sheets, right? I'd take a couple of those. I'd throw them in my backpack, do whatever, try and diffuse a little bit of the smell. Hit the Uber button again, come. Because Ubers aren't generally, like, it is like safe passage
Yeah.
if you happen to be doing anything, right?
Right.
So if you're going to be, and I guess, I tell everyone who will listen, if you're drinking and you're out moving around, call an Uber, dude. It's like $8-9 to get you there and back. And if you don't have enough money to pay for the $8-9 to go, you should
You
probably
don't
drink
have
at
enough-
home.
You probably don't have enough money for the legal fees. either.
Exactly. And all the trauma and crap that comes along with it and the probation, So this is a great thing. Now, if it were me, like, I need to take over Uber's marketing. The minute I saw this, hey, take an Uber. It's not just drinking and driving anymore. They have swabs and they will do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I seriously,
okay, hold on. When you are, smoking the devil's lettuce, how long does that stay on your saliva? Long after that you've been under the influence?
well, I don't know. I mean, you could pull,
48 hours? Right. So if I got high last night and woke up and drove to work in the morning and got pulled over on I went to go reach for something and I kind of swerved a little bit and then I get swabbed. I'm not high. I'm not under the influence. And
Well, truthfully, it's actually kind of a violation of your rights. If you are getting a drunk driving and they take you in to have your blood drawn, they have to have a warrant to get your blood.
Right, yeah.
So it's bodily fluids. They have to have a warrant. It's your right. They have
yeah,
to
but
have
be
a warrant
careful,
to get your
not
bodily fluids.
not in Texas.
We are not in Texas.
Yeah, but all these Republican states, this used to be a union state. It's now turning, it's a right to work state. A lot of these things are turning Republican, and with a Republican House and Senate, when you've got the majority sitting there, and with the opioid crisis, and here's the thing, they always have a flag to put it under, right? And truthfully, dude, the opioid crisis has been going on since
it's crazy.
The mid '90s.
Yeah, and it's only getting worse. But as far as that goes too, I mean, if you're in that situation, in my opinion, you take the citation. It's an infraction. It's not a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. It's just an infraction. So if you're under the influence, just refuse, get the citation, and you're done. I mean, you're going to pay a little fine, but you're not going to have to go through all that.
Right, but if they really believe you are, right? If they really believe and they see your eyes bloodshot and they see X, Y, and they will arrest you under the suspicion and then take you in and pull, right?
And
so it's
get the warrant.
It's a quick.
They definitely say, if I'm not mistaken, I heard something like this. I believe that if you do refuse, you will be arrested.
Yeah.
And they have, in Texas and in other, they have no refusal weekends. So you're not allowed to refuse. And if you do, you automatically lose your license for a year. Don't quote me on all of it. I haven't, I'm not driving around there all the time now. But yeah, it's a lot of things. But I don't have to worry about it because guess what? I'll take an Uber to wherever I want to go because I'm an adult. And I'm not going to deal with the shenanigans. It's just a whole lot of shenanigans that I can easily take myself out of.
I just had a discussion with a guy at work yesterday about, he was talking about how, he doesn't have his license because he just, recently got caught drinking and driving. And he's talking about, he's about to get his license back. I said, dude, you can solve that easily by, prepare for that while you're sober. Decide to take an Uber or a taxi to the bar where you're going to go drink, and then that immediately stops you from driving home because you don't have your car there.
It's pretty simple.
So
we talk about this so much that I think we need to get on the phone with an Uber rep.
No, seriously,
come January 1st.
They are not marketing this nearly as good.
No,
when
what
I
they
have
need-
to tell people like the virtue of Uber and you are at work, I mean, we are kind of like the weird brain trust of, look, there's a lot of things that you could do wrong in this world. Let's take that one out of the equation.
Yeah. Well,
And dude, I have a blast in Ubers, and then you can get even sassier than you want, and
we need to make an Uber green for the stoners. Call that like a separate, like a.
Actually drive high and drive drunk.
Come again.
Some people can actually drive high and drive.
Well, I can drive. I
Yeah,
can
anyone
drive
can-
intoxicated very well, but I'm not gonna ever put myself or anyone else in that situation anymore. Allegedly.
And though you might be able to drive well when you're drunk, if you get pulled over for any other reason, the breathalyzer doesn't care
Or if
how
you- if
how
it-
well you can drive. You're drunk. That's all there is to
Or
it.
if you're in an accident that's not your fault.
Yeah,
you're
where you're
now
just
at
there
fault.
and boom, because you shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't
That
have been
actually
behind the
happened to
wheel.
my old man in '92. He was coming home from wherever he was coming home from, and he was crossing over Telegraph Road when we lived out there in Taylor. He's crossing over Telegraph Road, and he gets hit, T-boned by a guy coming on Telegraph Road, and it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
The guy hit him, but
But-
my dad was drunk.
So now it's his fault.
So it's his fault because
Yeah.
he shouldn't have been there to begin
Boy,
with.
and you want to talk about somebody who could captain a ship, fly a plane. Dude, all you had to do is give him a quick once over of, all right, this button and this and whatever. Intoxicated as all get out, and he could fly a plane. And I'd be comfortable right there with him. Dude, that man. There was a time he was like Superman of everything. I've never seen somebody. And
He
heaven
acquired that nickname.
did he?
Yep.
Yeah. No, he was something. He's one of the first jobs I had the summer I was out of high school, and taught me all kinds of
that's
cool
when I met
shenanigans. Yep, that's
Yep.
right. That was a good.
You, Ray Wide, Steve Baylog.
Yeah, we had quite a crew, that all worked with us at that. Yeah, what was that
As a matter
program?
of fact, I believe that Steve Baylog went and played football out of Grand Valley State, right?
Saginaw Valley State.
Saginaw Valley State. And I believe on his last day of work, you guys got him all sauced up out there in the behind the paint shop.
Yeah, you know what? I don't remember a whole heck of a lot of. God, when we were, the paint shop was shenanigans. I mean, granted, I tried to stay as much as I could. You remember Crazy Ken?
Yeah.
Ken
Bizak.
Yep, and we try not to use a ton of names on here, just in case we get into talking random shenanigans about him.
Stop dropping the last names.
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying.
right. That's right. But yeah, Bizak, he was something else.
I haven't
and-
seen him. I've always wondered what he's been up to. That was a crazy dude, man.
Yeah, I know where he lives, and the dude up like even that's right. Even we went through probably I don't know 5 or 6 like maybe 5 or 6 years, and then maybe there were a couple year gaps in there. We would always we'd be driving around and we'd have that same I wonder what Crazy Ken's doing, and we'd drive over there and we just knock on the door, run roughshod, he'd come out all frazzled. So yeah, that was a good group of crazy dudes we had working there, most definitely.
So yeah, Uber, take note. Canada has safe places for heroin addicts to go do heroin. We need to implement a tax where Uber can charge people to safely transport people under the influence of drugs. Maybe you just pay like a $3 fee per ride to the government.
You don't even need to pay a fee, man. Just call up Uber when you're on them. They don't need to pay a fee.
You make
Maybe Uber needs to pay a fee to this show.
Yeah, we'll have to get on the phone with Uber.
Dude,
reps.
if we take and we cut every Uber, Lyft,
Uber,
and we use Uber a lot, like Lyft. Don't be jealous.
Yeah.
Whoever's paying first, we'll throw your name out there, and if the third one comes along, we'll jump on with them too.
Lyft would probably be the one to jump on board. Lyft gets their foot in the door anywhere they can.
But
Yeah.
you're right. They're not advertising good enough. I mean, how did anybody ever hear about, the Moms Against Drunk Driving when they'll supply you a ride anytime? All you got to do is make a phone call. The only way they got that out was just constant reminding people that.
Yeah, and I mean, it'd be on TV, but nobody watches TV anymore. And you know what? Maybe Uber and Lyft are doing a ton of commercials, but I haven't watched regular TV in a long time.
I don't think that they are.
It's all about the social media now, getting out there on Facebook or Instagram.
I think that Lyft and Uber do really good Facebook marketing campaigns. I know that they're probably on Twitter going up. And
as
so
much
on.
as the magic Facebook listens to everything you say, and no matter what you type, it's not like I search Uber all the time, but we ought to do a mock. Makeup of a marketing program.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it with the Dixie Cup thing with my Russian friend.
Yeah.
So. We ought to do, because I've almost started using a weird tagline when people are going out like, hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Oh, let me get a coil of juice. And so what's going on today, right? A pretty generalized question. Oh, man, it's my birthday this weekend, but my buddies are taking me out to Ann Arbor. And I was like, oh, no kidding. And I know we've mentioned his vehicle. He's got a nice truck. So I always, hey, man, be cool with the truck, man. Be safe. Take an Uber, right? Don't bang up old Betsy out there. No, I'm not driving, man. I got this. And all right, be safe, take an Uber, right? And I keep saying, be safe, take an Uber.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that's not in their, not in their spectrum of marketing.
I'm
But
gonna Google it right now. For
be
you.
safe, take an Uber, or be safe, call Uber. I think take an Uber. Take seems to
Well,
ring
you
a
don't
little.
call Uber either.
That's right. So be safe, take an Uber.
Yeah, that's. It's the safest way to do anything anymore. Going out and drinking and driving just ain't worth all the hassle.
No, never.
You're out there, you're driving. Even no matter how good you are, a simple mistake. You kill a kid. How you gonna live with that?
Yeah. And any number of these, and it's weird. People do it, and I understand you're young, you're risk taking, but you live in this, and part of it is a topic that we normally touch on, that we live in the information age. I could get why my dad wouldn't call an Uber, right? My dad's like, well, yeah, if you come down here, I'll drive you around. And I was like, dude, I'll fly into town. You don't have to pick me up from the airport anymore, bro. I'll be at your house. Like, I just put it into the phone, right? And I don't need an extra car. Why don't you rent a car when you're down here? Why? I call, this nice fella comes and picks me up. I have random conversations with the strangers. Some are cool, some are not. I actually took one of my Uber drivers, dropped me off here one morning. Yeah. I think I had my car in the shop, so she picked me up and dropped me here. And she was like, "Oh, you could hit your little vapor thingy." And I was like, "Oh, this isn't a little one. This produces a lot." And she was like, "Really? Let me see." So I hit it. She was like, "Oh, wow, that smells good." Blah blah blah. We talk about vapor all the way here, right?
Yeah.
We get here and she's like, nope. Oh, that one just canceled on me. You know what? I'm going to come in. Show me a little bit about this vapor stuff and whatever. So I ended up paying like $8.78 for the ride from my house to here and ended up selling her like a $50 vapor unit. And I was like, that's dope.
Yeah,
right?
that's really cool.
I would have given you a discount, but you didn't really give me a discount on the Uber ride now, did you, sister?
Yeah.
Right? I'm paying full fare. But
But give a reach around in the back.
No. But
to drive the manual over.
But they're going to be cracking down on this in roadside drug testing. And from what I saw on the news media, it looked as if they were setting up like checkpoints, right? They'll like just pull over. Now, I don't like that Gestapo-like tactic. I feel that's very military and
you shouldn't have to have checkpoints to drive on the roads you pay for.
But it immediately puts everybody on high alert. Like when they're pulling up, and like everybody's more tense.
Yeah, and that's not a good
you're more
environment
apt
to
to
drive
say something
in.
you shouldn't, or you're more apt to look suspicious when you're not.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm nervous every time I drive. I ain't doing nothing wrong. And the people run around, and I just, man, what are they doing? Why are they behind me? You know what I mean? I'm like, balls, why?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything wrong. But I think it's just from years of either driving dirty, no insurance, name it, I've done everything.
No, I mean, it's like anyone. Just, you could be completely straight edge. You could be like a 30-year-old, mom with 2 kids, never had a drink in your whole life even, and you get pulled over, you're going to have the shaky poos. You're going to be nervous.
The shaky poos, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
it's just we live in, almost a police state.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes.
I guess. But, I mean, I get pulled over once or twice every 2 years. Yeah. Nobody pulls me over. Jakey generally does the speed limit. If I do speed, I speed without squealing my tires. Like, I've got it down to a science. I'll get a roll going, boom, hit it. I'll go up to the speed limit or right when I'm about to touch it and back off. So the most you're going to get me, you can't get me for reckless driving or breaking my tires loose, accelerated rate of speed. It doesn't matter. I didn't squeal my tires. I know all the guidelines within it. But other than that, I do the speed limit. I drove for a living, technically through all the beverage years. It didn't matter. It didn't matter how fast I got to X, Y, and Z. I just wanted to get there safe. I didn't want to cause any drama, through the process. So, so I thought that was kind of neat and notable. I think we're doing the Lord's work with telling everybody about Uber and Lyft. And I'm really, really baffled at how few people are aware of it, use it. And I had a guy that I talked to about it. Actually, you were in here with me, Aaliyah, when we talked to the guys and we were like, oh, Ben that didn't want to share the mic and his buddy, and they were going out drinking. Be safe taking Uber. And they were like, oh, there's, human trafficking and the Uber people stealing people. And I'm like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? Could you show me an article?
Taxis have been running around for decades.
I don't know, but they just don't know who the Uber guy is, and they think it's like witchcraft that
do you know the taxi driver?
Dude, I don't think these guys ever took a taxi either, right? They live in, but he did come in maybe a month after, and he was like, dude, I started taking Uber. That's actually very convenient. He was like, dude, we drove home way too, after drinking way too much from Plymouth, and granted, it wasn't too far, but dude, I can't be risking it and whatever. And I was like, duh. Right, I talked to you about this for how long?
Like you just had that epiphany. Oh, did you know if you have too many drinks, you drive home, that's drunk driving, dude? Like, oh, really?
Where I'm working at now, I work for a company, but we work out at DTE Fermi, and it's a nuclear power plant, so like a drunk driving can make it so I can't work out there.
Right.
Like just all kinds of little things that you can do in your own if I go out and got into a fight at a bar tonight and kick the crap out of somebody and put them in a hospital, that could cost me my job.
Right.
You know, so you have to understand, you know, that you gotta
Well, that's
make better choices
That's
sometimes.
why
you know,
we live in a society where you have to follow laws and rules, and that's the price you pay for the security of a society.
I mean, it really doesn't matter because I'm not doing any of it. Although my ongoing social experiment of, you know, owning retail shops and being involved with, you know, the general public, everyone, I'll get people in here that are buzzed, stoned, you know, doing any number of drugs, and you see it on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'm like on 6 or 7 things right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely out of it, bro. So it's kind of weird, and I'm just like, wow, I guess I remember those days, but you know, it goes back to the you drink beer on your front porch or you do whatever. Your house is kind of your domain. Do
Yeah.
all the weird, creepy stuff you want to do in your house. Even in the backyard, when I have friends that partake in that, I'm not 100% comfortable because my neighbors know me.
Right, yeah.
But now my neighbors are like, oh man, I smelt whatever yesterday, and you know, it's an older couple that lives next to me. Just out of, and you know, I don't know. I'm just like, dude, you could go do it in the garage, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
go somewhere and conceal whatever you're doing. I'm not that free and open with it.
Yeah.
And I guess if I was, then that would be cool. But, you know, same thing with drinking. I don't want to get drunk and cause a big ruckus in the front of my house or, you know, in my backyard. When I get people over and we're going to the hot tub, they'll be sitting there hooting and hollering and yelling. I'm like, yo, in the garage. That's why I put it in the garage. Like, I have to chase grown people around like children to get them to stop making noise at 1:30 to, you know, to 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, dude, if I was, all it takes is one crabby neighbor to pick up the phone, police come. Now you're on their radar, and you know, and I don't want to be that, you know.
it's just about respect for other people is what it's really should boil down to. I mean, you know, if you were sitting at your house and you're trying to go to bed and you're trying to go to sleep, or you're just trying to relax with your significant other or whatever, watching TV, and your neighbor's got a party going on and they're freaking screaming, yelling, having a good time, interrupting your evening, how would you feel?
yeah.
You know?
And I don't dig it. If I got to get up for work in the morning, man, I'm not buying it.
So I don't want to. I'm not trying to derail, but I saw this article a couple days ago, and I didn't know if you saw what I reposted about it, but it's pretty hilarious.
What
I'm
you
not
got?
trying to give this guy any more press, but he's dead, so screw it. The CIA released like a document describing all the files that they found on Osama bin Laden's like servers or computer hard drives, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a crazy amount of weird stuff on there.
Like weird stuff. Please do tell.
Like, have you ever heard of the claymation, the animated thing, Wallace and Gromit?
I haven't.
Have you?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, it's like a really old, bizarre, like claymation about like an old guy and a dog. He had like a bunch of those. He had Tom and Jerry. He had some weird.
What's so weird about Tom and Jerry?
Why is it in Osama bin Laden's cave? That's what's weird about Tom and Jerry.
Entertainment is entertainment.
So
you
yeah,
know?
he had like a bunch of weird old cartoons. He had a bunch of weird pornographic stuff. He had a
See,
bunch
like,
of
pornographic,
documentaries.
That's weird, but like cartoons, that's not so weird.
Well, for Osama
Well,
bin
and-
Laden, he's a terrorist leader. I wouldn't expect him to
Well, I
be
mean,
watching
he's got
Finding
everyone's
Nemo.
Everybody's got an itch.
Everyone's got a downtime,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, everybody's
like
got
he had-
hey, let me ruin the world, and then kick back and put up my feet and
So
watch
guys,
some Tom and Jerry.
You guys think it's completely normal that Osama bin Laden had a bunch of American cartoons and animated series?
Only, I mean, it's weird what he would have chose.
Well,
you know.
okay, because it's on his hard drive. That's like mixed in, like, you know, like Chicken Run stuff, and Tom and Jerry is just sitting right next to all these weird beheadings and pornos and documentaries about himself. Like, it's just a weird cocktail of files they found.
Yeah,
Actually, those are the normal files. It's the beheadings and all the other things that would be.
No, I would
weird,
expect
you know?
that to be on a terrorist leader's computer. I wouldn't expect him to be watching Finding Nemo at 2 in the morning.
Hey,
well, it's
you
like
gotta have your downtime.
Well, you know, you find really, really high-end executives go to S&M places and like, oh, I wouldn't expect, you know, the head of this big company to put on a Red Ball harness set and have some woman walk on his back and, you know, whip him and stuff. So, I mean, I guess people do other things that aren't normal, right?
Yeah,
Or what
I
what
mean,
you
out of-
may consider normal.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
that's like what like an average person would do here. I don't think an average
But see,
terrorist.
with the overall worldview, you got to figure he was sending. We couldn't find the dude. He was sending videos. So obviously he had a cam. He did whatever. They had some idea of some technology in general.
You had like Ice Age Scrat's Missing Adventure, like the weird off movie about the little prehistoric little chipmunk thing. He had that. He had Cars, Batman, Gotham Knight, Chicken Little. He had Final Fantasy VII,
Like as a video game or
yeah,
a movie?
Resident Evil.
Those are good games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are you, a closet Bin Laden? What's going on? Goddamn.
Yeah, come on.
I saw that article and I was like, but I'm kind of over Bin Laden. I didn't even want to dig into the psyche, which it was interesting. And I saw it a couple times, and I know, you posted it. I saw it, and I looked at some stuff, and I went, do I really want to dig in?
Well,
I think I'm only interested in in the living in that manner.
Yeah.
Like if he was still out there and they found some stuff, then I'd be really intrigued. But
Well, because here's the thing, we'll say that it's normal for normal people to have those things on their computers and have those files, videos, games, whatever. But it's different when you take like a psychopath or I'm not gonna break down his psychology, but you take a guy that was the leader of one of the biggest organized terror groups in the world, and you find all of this stuff that you watched when you were a kid, and you're like, why did he choose that stuff? I mean, there's plenty of other media out there. You could watch anything. You could watch romantic comedies. You could watch Saw. You could watch.
What would even freak you out worse that Bin Laden would have had, like Serendipity?
Oh God,
like if he
Brave
really
little,
liked romantic,
Brave Little Toaster, like
he really liked romantic comedies like The Breakup.
He's just got
he's
a
a
bunch
big Vince
of
Vaughn fan.
Yeah, a bunch of Justin Timberlake.
Vince
like
Vaughn rocks, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's not the fact that those things are weird to have. It's just that they were very specific. Like, did he really like cartoons? Did he even like them? Was he studying them? Was it a downtime thing? Was it like a propaganda
why would
tool?
you study Tom and Jerry like
A propaganda tool. I mean, how do you get into the minds of young kids to sway them and to brainwash them?
Right, and
that's
see,
where my mind goes.
These are the
with it.
things I don't like. I don't like extrapolating thought on things that I will never find the answer for. Hence,
Right.
why I don't like dealing with dead people's psychology, because it would bother me, and I would
Yeah.
think, and I would develop 2 or 3 patterns of thought, and then I would think about it, and then and now I'm thinking about Bin Laden before I go to bed, and then Tom and Jerry and
do you
whatever.
think-
And I'm gonna have really weird, fucked off dreams.
What do you think? What do you think Bin Laden's favorite porno was? What do you think his favorite category? If he was to go on Pornhub today, what do you think the first
I don't
category
know.
he would click on?
You never really know.
Do you have an answer for this?
No, I'm just curious. I want to know if you're a terrorist. What's the first thing that
Maybe
you
he was really into
jerk
clown
into?
porn.
Clown porn?
Couldn't
Midget Star Wars clown porn?
And he was a tall dude, wasn't he? Like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah,
So-
he was very tall.
Yeah, he was very tall. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, is it an opposite thing? I mean, obviously he's doing everything counterculture from what you would have imagined.
Right.
I
I don't know. I just thought it was. I just thought
I'd
it was
like
hilarious.
to think Harry. I'd like to think Harry would be a thing.
Harry, like
Yeah.
he would look for
Because-
unshaved.
Yeah,
videos.
because all those, or he's never seen a shaved one, so he's all about shaved.
You're
Like
like,
he was real big
"Ooh."
on shave.com
I
or
think-
whatever. Like I can never subscribe to that Dollar Shave Club, but
I think,
boy, I'm gonna get the
I
shaved
think, I
vagine.
think if he really wanted to, he could get some shaved vagine over there.
You think? Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you could do anything. They do anything
Yeah,
for
they
you.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, you just slap her up on the table and do
You
whatever he
take
wants.
the machete that he just got done cutting up heads and papaya with, and just one swoop, little shing, and all the pubes are gone.
Yeah, no, that is
Clean
kind of.
shave.
Well, what would somebody find? What would somebody find on your hard drive or
A lot
on?
of stuff, Jake.
Yeah, well, no. I already
he's,
know. I've listened to
pleading the
y'all's
fifth on that.
Pandora's box. Did you hear the thing I did? The Teen Mom thing from last night, right? And I was like, it's that Farrah Abraham chick, right? And I like reality. I like, dude, when the Paris Hilton thing came out, let's just say I needed a bandage or two. Like I had scuffed up the side of the old soldier. Like, dude, I had worked it out because at the time you couldn't buy it or whatever. You had to like rent it for like 24 hours. Dude, I scuffed the month. I got after it for a while. Because she was a real person in reality
Yeah.
TV and all this stuff. So I do like what real people like. I'm in the heyday of this porn right now because it seems like everybody's doing it. And between that and the webcam chicks and the whatever, I mean, you could shuck the old corn to a college senior in in Nebraska, and she's totally cool to do all kinds of weird, creepy stuff and say, and she's new and she's normal and just cool. And yeah, man, you got to pay tuition somehow. And I kind of like it. I'm kind of cool with my sexuality. And dude, awesome. That is great, dude. You look just like Scarlett Johansson in like a low budget Nebraska way. But dude, it's doing something for me at 1:30 to 1:36 at night with my laptop burning a hole on my chest as it's, overheating and I'm working it out, you know what I mean?
I could never get into the whole live cam stuff. I don't like that. Because it's like fake. It's really fake personal,
I mean, it is. You build a relationship with them. You call them once every 3 weeks or something.
But on the, they're just manipulating the
See, but you obviously
$1
haven't used it for that much. I mean, yes, but so is everything else.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, yeah, I
so
get
are
it,
real relationships.
but I can't reach through the laptop and grab your boobs. So I'd rather buy you a dinner in person and then grab your boobs with my real hands than.
Yeah, but you never know if you're getting a grab boob with a dinner purchase. You gotta go through a couple dinners. Unless you've got some,
It says prostitution. That'll hook you right up.
Dude, all of it's prostitution.
I'd rather,
one way or another.
because it's also a lot of work sometimes to get to. Like if I'm gonna crank it, I just want to type in the exact search terms and find what I want, get it done ASAP, and go back to being productive.
Doing what you're doing, yeah.
I don't want to make it like a 4-hour like staying up all night thing.
Well, no, you can't. You'll go broke. You try and do it in 4 hours. You got to knock that thing out with the prices they're charging these days. Like I only do the hey, you deserve a little something extra from the normal, snippet porn to some reality, and that's kind of. It's kind of neat with the dude. I've got a great webcam story, dude. I actually was this chick, and it's whatever. I'm a little bit of a talker and a communicator, and I use the phone service with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
you did like the 1-800 numbers.
No,
back in
it's
the day?
I'm sure I did, dude. I like dude, phone sex. Dude, I had girlfriends when I was working out of town. Ironically, with PPG when I was working at Program. And I was out, and my girlfriend, and I'm like, balls. I'm sitting, I'm all of 19 or whatever, and I'm sitting in a hotel room doing a Piggly Wiggly remodel, and in Pennsylvania, Ohio border somewhere in the middle, like Quakers rolling by. I developed a weird thing for chicks in Quaker outfits because I was like, oh my god! And this is way before the movie Sex Drive came out. Yeah. But Sex Drive makes it a little simpler. But with doing so, I'm sitting there, and I was like, hey, I'm sitting in my hotel room, and okay, I really miss you and whatever. Dude, maybe, the upbringing from Mad Dog and whatever, like, somehow warped my sensibility. But I was like, what are you doing? What are you wearing? Why don't you do this and that? What about that little toy I got you and whatever? I was buying sex toys at 18. The minute I could, dude, I had vibrators on the girls and whatever. I was like, wee, let's go. And, it was very weird, but even now that, to bring a little bit of, see where you look at it and go, it's not personal enough. It's definitely more personable than looking at whatever on the screen. Yeah. Now I haven't dabbled. I haven't dabbled into the whole VR, like virtual reality porn stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Somebody was like, "Dude, you got to see this," and put the goggles on me, and I went, "Cool," but it kind of throws my equilibrium off. So I don't know if I need to take some seasick pills before I get to work.
Yeah, I did that with like a makeshift one that you put your phone into once. It was like one of the just mirrored ones, and I went on like a website and just like put it right there, and when you move with the phone, it'll do the whole VR thing. And I was like, wouldn't really focus right. It was a very cheap setup, but I was like, wow, this is like truly the future of where this is heading. This is pretty neat.
I heard one time that a lot of advancements in technology are because of the porn industry.
Yeah, they really do drive. Yeah. They have a lot of like momentum.
Being able to pay with your credit card online.
Well,
because of the porn industry.
I mean, think of like all the craziest stuff mankind's ever done. It's always been the little guy down there trying to impress something.
For sure. I mean, we're no different than any other mammal on this planet, right? And if you snapped like today and we just went, whoop, watch this, and we went back, 5,000-6,000 years, or
there's some
1,000
guy,
years,
some guy creating some new invention out of stone so he can go get laid.
Right, but we would still do the same three things. We would have to build a hut so we wouldn't get rained on and, have some kind of shelter or a cave, whatever. Right? So we'd have to have a cave. We'd have to go hunt and gather, right? We'd either have to find something to eat and then procreate. After you're done with those two things, balls, right? Need to take care of business. So, today's modern life is absolutely no different. We go to work,
Right.
we make money, so we can have a roof over our head and, and have food. And then we procreate, or we practice procreating. Is what I do.
Working now is your hunting gathering.
That's right.
Yeah, no, it's always it's kind of interesting because no matter where society is, it kind of goes off of, if you're into psychology, Maslow's human needs. There's like the pyramid stack.
Mm-hmm.
It never changes. It
No.
never will change. Just the technology in our society will change. And
In
that's
the manner
about
in
it.
which you get, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause
so
you
back
as
to
a
my
human need what you need.
yeah, and we really only need three things.
Well, once you have food, shelter, you and sleep, right? Then you move up. Then it's security. Are you living in a safe environment? And then you move up to relationships and friendships and family, brotherhood, squads. Like people in the army, they have a really good sense of being in like a pack where everyone's useful. And then it goes up to self-fulfillment. So those always exist in society no matter what. It's just wherever the civilization is, the people that are living in these societies are always nothing's really changed. It's just everyone that gets to that top level is pushing all the inventions and doing innovative stuff.
Well, and look, I mean, I like a lot of the, it makes my weird minimalist lifestyle even better because, why would I go? What's funny? I've argued the fact of why would I go like with all my buddies and, if you look at it, economically, I could go to the strip club, do whatever, go spend a bunch of money, take an Uber ride, spend money to get in, even though I don't have that problem anymore. And then, and get in, and then you're buying overpriced drinks, and then you've got pretty ladies and whatever, and then you go home more sexually frustrated than you were when you got there, and then go home. So when you look at that whole like, horrible pyramid, or I could go, cool, I'm going to grab a Guinness out of the fridge, right? That cost a fraction of the cost or whatever. I'm going to get on. I'm going to scour the old interwebs for, oh, cool, that's a really hot chick and whatever. And she's got the phone option. I can talk to her, shuck the old corn. What do you like? Do this and that, whatever. Now,
You could just get a lady friend and do the same thing without. Yeah.
And then, blah, 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 and then this,
Well,
and
you're
where's
blah,
this
blah,
going?
you're-
And dude, I've done that forever. I
You've
really
said-
don't want the
you
shenanigans.
You know how to set it up right. Communication, man. You say just come over and bone and then leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier and
Yeah, no,
and harder.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, we would all be doing that tonight, right? Or every night. Like, hey, it's Tuesday. What are you doing? I got somebody. No, you have to put in the work. There's a lot of groundwork to get to that point.
Yeah, and then you might as well just
And
be
then
trading dollar
eventually, at
amounts.
some point, just by the human nature, eventually somebody in the situation is going to want more if it continues. you
Yeah.
know.
And then it's problematic, and you don't like me. You're a jerk. Blah blah blah.
But if you're just doing it to get the release of an orgasm, I don't.
If it was as easy as putting a laptop on my chest and going blink blink blink, that
Yeah.
would be awesome.
Yeah, I just don't feel the need to go and make that meaningless connection for the night and then spend money and then this just.
But see, mental fantasy, right? If you're more mental about it, then I can't, like, dude, I don't know. Like, if I was on a desert island, I don't know if I would continue to masturbate. Like, I am so like overly,
I probably would. I would look at a pair of coconuts up in a tree.
see,
and just
you'd
think
be
of-
you'd be
think of
set for
boobies.
it. Yeah, like, oh my god, if I wasn't on this island, I would totally have a chick to come over and I'd take her to dinner,
Well, you
and
know
then we'd
me.
go do.
I would go, bang a papaya or something. Drill a makeshift hole.
Yeah, now that we know about the grapefruiting. Yeah, I don't know. I need something else I need something else in my mind to distract me or to build a little bit of a fantasy. And realism is a thing. And that is the realest thing, that this is a real person. She's sitting over there, and these aren't like webcam models like it's, an actress. They're real chicks. Like, the chick works. I've had shenanigans with the chick who works at Hooters in Chicago. How awesome is that? in the same little town, I found out that where I go in Chicago, she lives. And she was like, oh, that's crazy. You should have came by her the next time you're here. And I'm like, no. I was like, I'm going to be cool. That's neat to see you in person. But, dude, can I come back and, can we do this, like, on your couch, like, off the record? Like, is this fine? Like, I don't even need to make the reel sticky. But I have made, I'm just going to say, because I am quite the communicator, I have made a random like webcam chick connection friend from taking it from the mystical internet.
Yeah, you can always do that.
Yeah,
That's a possibility.
but it's most of the time they live in a different state or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do, and when I tell you epically hot and whatever, but she happens to be a dancer who lives out in Vegas. And, I was like, oh, it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, in fantasy realm, you get to talk. And she was like, no, seriously, here's my number and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? I will book a flight to fly to Vegas, like at 9 in the morning. I'll get to Vegas. I'll get there. I'll grab a bite to eat. I'll have a couple drinks. I'll meet you at the strip club just so we can, I'm not a creep, right? Yeah, we've seen each other, right? Cool. And she was like, yeah, we can go back to the house and take care of that and whatever. It'll probably cost a couple more dollars than the actual thing. And I was like, dude,
and the flight to Vegas.
and then fly right back. Like, I would be back the same day. I wouldn't even stay in Vegas. I would literally fly all the way there just to go, just did something none of you guys have. I don't care how long you're on this planet.
Oh, my God.
Try and replicate that one.
Oh, my God.
Because sometimes cranking for story's sake, it's like
no, that's why a lot of shenanigans happens is you want to go tell your buddies you just did that.
well, dude, I would scream that from the tallest mountaintop. And it's there and it's available. But I just, and I guess the unbelievable nature of it, but then actually doing it, that seems like a lot of work. Like, why would I
Right.
fly? Like, I'm fairly certain I could trick somebody into cranking around here.
I would say before you make a decision like that, close the window, say you're gonna do it, and then go watch porn, and then finish jerking it, and then tell me you're gonna make that decision to go do that.
Yeah.
You got to have a boner the whole way there, while you're eating your meal, for you to think that it's consistently a good idea.
Well, see, it really depends. Like, I'm a really horny dude, right? Like, it's abnormal, and it's a redheaded thing. The redheaded female and the redheaded male are hornier, than the remainder of the species. We have problems.
Yeah, just ask my wife.
Yeah, it's a thing. Like, I was 3 times a day, and not shucking it, with like my chick that I was with for forever, 3 times a day. Any girlfriend I'm with, morning, if it's applicable, at noon and night minimum. Don't get me wrong, if it's a Sunday and hey, let's just pull a John Lennon and Yoko and lay in bed all day, you could put up some some high baseball numbers, right? like one of the games in the World Series, like 12 or 13, where you're doing it, you don't even know why you're doing it. You just kind of roll over and there you go.
I do that too. I don't know if it's a redhead thing for sure.
I could show you.
Maybe it's an Irish thing.
I could show you the science behind it. Redheaded folks that are generally a recessive gene, right? We're a recessive gene. There is enough documentation out there. I'm not even saying a myth, but there's a forehand knowledge that redheaded chicks, if you ask any dude who's dated a redheaded chick versus everything else.
No, I know that one for a fact.
Right. But it's the same, and I remember hearing that, and I was like, that's awesome. But when has anyone seen 2 redheads together? Right? It very rarely happens. That's amazing. I don't think you'd have like a Casper the White Ghost.
Is your wife redheaded?
No.
As
a matter of fact, my wife swore she would never marry a redhead.
You got her though.
I got her.
And generally, redheads will find themselves with somebody of olive skin or at least brunette hair, darker features. Generally, because you're trying to. You're trying, and I think it's subconscious,
it's
but
like a hereditary trait to try to get rid of the red hair.
Well, no, I think there is something. That's why you never see a redhead and an Asian together, right? It's just because then you got a redheaded Asian. Like, Asians got it tough in school, and so do redheads. You want a redheaded Asian? Like, dude, imagine the pick-on, ability of that.
Truth be told, I also just recently found this out, that you have to have the redhead gene on both sides of the family in order to have a redheaded child.
Really?
Well, there's.
Well, it can still.
It's just got to be in the. It's got to be in the
gotta
gene pool.
be in there.
It doesn't
but
have to be necessarily
2 redheads.
Right. It's just like, for instance, my old man, black hair, dark hair.
Nope.
But
But he had a
grandma-
little. He was just like my dad. He had a little red in the
little red in
sideburns.
beard, yeah. Well, grandma's got red hair, or had red hair. So
Right.
red hair is on that side of the family, and my mom, so
Bloop.
yeah, redhead,
Yeah. No, it's
flaming orange hair all my life.
well, yeah, and like the odds of me actually having a redheaded child because mine is a recessive gene. If it's a dominant gene, like if my granddad had red hair, my dad had red hair, and I had red hair, you can track that. You can track that down. But when it's a recessive gene, it kind of wiggles around and it skips. In my family, one person, like what was it? Not my grandmother, but her sister had red hair. Then out of my mom's, out of all those, one of my aunts had red hair. Then I had red hair, and I was the only one in my, my generation. And then in my cousins or whatever, only one of them with red hair. So it's weird. It's like it pops up consistently with only one of us.
I didn't even know that red-haired people were born. I thought they just flew out of volcanoes and showed up.
Yeah, no, we are
We are
a
badass
mythical
dudes, I'm telling
we are a mythical creature for sure.
I thought they were just you dropped in by like Tom Cruise
You know what?
aliens or
The
something.
only crazier ones than us are the albinos.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, they hold it together because their skin's real like paper thin. I guess I don't know. I could tell you
If they got in a fight, they get cut. They just die.
that's it. Yeah, they're gonna
So
bleed
they,
out.
They gotta. They
I haven't seen a really hot redheaded chick in a while.
Have you ever seen a hot albino chick?
Oh, the dude on the chick on Star Trek. When we were watching Star Trek the other night, whatever that albino creature from Star Trek, dude, she could get it.
She naturally albino though.
No, of course not. She's just like
Well, yeah.
white and whatever. But dude, she's pretty gangster. Dude, Google Star Trek like
yeah,
crazy
right.
white creature.
Crazy white creature.
Dude, she's hot. I'm starting to do the Pee Wee Herman in my chair. I'm like, dude, she's
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna.
Look at Chris Payne, and you're looking at.
an alien female
Oh,
thing.
This.
No, you creep. That's like that's old school Star Trek. New Star Trek movie. Yeah, but she's pretty amazing.
I googled Star Trek white creature and that's what came up.
Put
No,
Star Trek
white chick.
Beyond.
Star Trek Beyond white
I'm gonna put.
actors.
Can I
lady.
put albino? Will that come up?
That'd be so good.
Well,
Star
it probably could. She's albino, but she had cool like markings too.
Was it her?
Maybe that was her playing it, but
Oh God, I don't.
you're horrible at googling. And this is the guy who could go.
This?
No,
I don't know.
the walking labia. No.
Is it this chick?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but Google whatever she is. Look at other pictures of her. Waka waka wah. I also like the chick from
Isn't that? Oh, is that Jennifer Lawrence?
the Avatar movie
No.
was pretty gangster too. The Avatar. I mean, dude.
Oh
that's-
yeah, I got real horny to the Avatar movie because like it's just.
I'm crazy because of the white.
I didn't
and-
say you were crazy. I just thought you were jerking it to like a Yeti monster, man. I didn't.
Wow, you went and did research on it.
Yeah.
I just take it at face value that
I just no.
Zoe Saldana looked really great in that giant like Avatar outfit.
I just I thought you were.
She was in both movies,
I
ironically.
thought you were beating off to the Abominable Snowman.
Yeah, she was in both movies.
Yeah, like her character's name or her like actual name. Oh, I don't remember. I don't care. I was mesmerized by the
Sophia,
racing stripes.
Sophia Boutella.
Well, whoever she is, she's awesome.
I'm gonna see what
She's
she
a
looks
good
like
lady.
normally. She looks kind of like Serbian or something.
Well, the name
Because
is
you
pretty.
can tell that through white makeup and.
No, I'm talking
prosthetics.
like jawline. Like, okay, this is what.
Let me see what she looks like in real life. I like her better as the white thing. I
Oh
mean-
yeah, well she's like not even white.
Okay, no, she looks good there, but whatever that first picture you showed, like,
She's got a weird confused look.
yeah, I like that. That's generally when I can.
There you
That's
go.
generally where I slide in. What? Hey, and also in the news, did you see a rogue Twitter employee made America great again by disabling Trump's account for 11 minutes?
I saw you shared the article.
It was his last day of work, and that was what he decided to do on his last day of work.
That's a
Wow.
drop the mic.
Yeah.
Take that. I
Anyone
just-
that's ever quit their job and did something cool on the way out, pooped on their boss's desk, this guy just trumped you.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, that was a good one.
Literally trumped
pun
you.
intended.
Yeah.
See, now immediately I almost spun off into conspiracy theory because not knowing that if you delete the account and it actually pulls that off with all the shenanigans that are going on, if they wanted to take and lose record of the old account and started a new one with the exact same name, I wasn't certain about that, but I also okay, so have you ever like quitting jobs or leaving jobs? Have you ever done anything like epic in your departure? I've got one that I can recall.
I've just the craziest things I've ever done is just ghosted. Just don't show up. Just don't. They never hear from me or see me ever again.
You don't even go to pick up the last check?
Well, sometimes I'll make it happen. I'll have a friend go do it that like works there or something.
Oh, I'd no. I'm gonna look you in the eye, Slick.
No,
I
I
need
just
some answers. I need closure.
yeah. I don't know. If I hate the place, I don't want to waste any more time there. What have you done? You done
Okay.
something crazy?
I'm gonna, for I'm fairly certain the statutes of limitations have run out on this one.
At least
Okay.
I hope.
At least I hope. Well, and it wasn't me. I was just there, and I told you this one night when we were standing outside of here. I worked at Dunkin' Donuts. I worked at every little place up here. Like I worked at Ponderosa, Dunkin' Donuts, Maria, the Party Store. I've worked here. I've worked every place like within this whole
You worked
little.
right next door?
Mhm.
No way.
I've worked everywhere in this corridor, right? When I'd been starting at like 15 or 16, right?
Yeah.
I worked there for a while. Work here, over summer before football season. So I was working there, and it was Christmas time. And the guy I worked with, he's the one who got me the job, right? And he had been there before. So they forced us to work like Christmas Eve, right? And it was Christmas Eve. We all had stuff to do with our parents, but the people that own the Dunkin' Donuts were like, yeah, cool, it's whatever. They all took off. So we had no managers, we had no anything, just two random employees, and we were furious that anyone, that they made us work and they didn't. And I was like, wow, this is pretty crappy. So my buddy, I noticed all of a sudden, he was like, dude, don't worry, I'll get the drive-through. And I was like, cool. So I'm, changing donut trays and doing whatever, making sure whatever's going where it's supposed to. And I keep noticing he does whatever, but he doesn't take any money. And he has a conversation with them and tells them Merry Christmas. And he ends up telling everybody at the Dunkin' Donuts that, hey, it's a Christmas promotion or whatever, Merry Christmas, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And like he could have done oh no, pay it forward, right? The person in front of you paid it, right? It would be a good scam.
Yeah.
Dude, he ran the whole night until we left without ringing up not the whole night. I think he came to the idea, like just being furious that we were working and, the owners and the managers and nobody else were.
Yeah.
And we both had like holiday Christmas parties to go to with our folks and whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, and we didn't close early. Like we're peddling donuts and coffee until, until like 10 o'clock at night on, Christmas Eve. Dude, he started giving everything away.
Wow.
Just cool. Here's your thing, and you know what? Here, and we're gonna throw one of those in. Merry Christmas, dude. He like gave away all the donuts, all the whatever. I think even started taking the little bags of coffee and vroom, there you go. Merry Christmas, Dunkin' Donuts.
Wow.
Appreciate your business. I don't know. I never went back. Right? What am I gonna do? He was the senior employee, and he had this like kind of he had like an office space snap and gave everything
That's
away.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
what a good way to like make people's day though.
Oh, dude, I'm
Like
sure.
if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna like quit an epic way, like make like the customer's day while you do it,
Yeah, for sure. Don't
ruin the customer's day, ruin your boss's day.
Dude, all I know is somebody had ruined some stuff. There was there was definitely an unhappy business owner or
no
managers
doubt.
or whatever.
There was a lot of money lost that day.
Oh, for sure. I mean, granted, donut and coffee, but it had to have gone for like 4 or 5 hours.
Well, donut coffee, not to mention, because you still got to get paid by state law, so you're getting paid by the hour.
Oh, I don't
to give
think
away.
I ever went back for my paycheck. I was like, I don't even want to know that. I don't want anybody to know I was there. I didn't do this. It was him, not me. And I was like, dude, you're going to get in trouble. And he was like, yeah, it's whatever. Dude, prove it, blah, blah, blah. And he went about and whatever. And I was like, oh, my God. So,
Just prove it, huh?
yeah.
You're gonna make me puke. You
So,
see this?
yeah. I do. It's the weird 12-year-old friendship that you guys have. And
I'm just sitting here. Anyone got like one of those? What are they called? The motion sickness pills.
I don't know, but I was gonna take one before I did something.
VR porn.
Before I did the VR porn.
Yeah.
I should work on that. I should get the VR porn.
You
and
should, yeah,
check
just
back.
invest in some meds.
Yeah, and just get the motion sickness pills.
Watch it like one of the side effects be like ED or something.
Yeah, great. Be like, it's crazy, but then I'm whacking it with a rope like Peni. This is horrible. This is taking way too long. Right out of the our normal things we. Say and whatever, and I'm gonna get out of here before Aaliyah flips you off the
This chair's gonna be broken.
off the chair.
I'm just trying not to be dizzy.
All right, this is the Bachelor Pad Radio, thejakepodcast.com, and we are done for the week. We will see everybody back on Monday, 9:30ish.
All right.
Later on,
See you guys.
have fun with.
Stop.
Crazy
Just
behind you.
Don't even acknowledge it. Just pretend
you
it's not
can't.
happening.
It's impossible.
Stop it.
Oh, and what's it called? I sent you all the tags.
I saw the phone going crazy. Oh man, my nose! I really can't leave the house without my little weird sinus stuff.